So thank you for the invitation. My name is Kasperi Koivu. I come from Finland. I work in a construction company called Fira. And we like to think that we are doing things differently and changing the way of doing construction business. We focus more on the people and co-creation, doing things in a smarter way. And our big goal is to create smarter societies and better lives for people. We see that the traditional construction business is a lot about what we do and just doing it the way we always used to do it. And we at Fira, we focus more on people and the thinking and why we are actually doing the things in the way we do. We focus a lot on collaboration of people and giving people the chance to learn new stuff and do their work in a smarter way. We have been growing quite fast. In 2009, our revenue was 14 million euros. And this year it's going to be over 150 million euros. We've been growing fast, but our goals are bigger. At the moment, we are a domestic service and construction company. We have a goal of value of €1 billion in 2022 as a European service and construction company. Our role as a game changer has been noticed. We have won many awards. One of the latest was Tekla BIM Awards this year. This gives you a good idea of how the company has evolved during the years. Fira was founded in 2002 with a heavy focus on concrete. We call it the concrete phase for Fira. We were a small subcontractor first and then slowly got ourselves being a main contractor. But it's also a very important phase because it's like our foundations were built there, or you could say that. And in 2009, our focus shifted quite drastically from concrete to customers to instead of doing it the old way, doing it in a smarter way. Smarter building was our slogan that time. And it's our focus changed from doing it ourselves and from the concrete to doing it together with the customer. And now we are in the beginning of the next phase, going doing more with people, more collaboration. Our goal is to make a platform business model for construction business, and with this achieve the $1 billion value by 2022. traditional construction industry or business model is quite closed, I would say, and has to do with the companies working on its own efficiency and looking at its balance sheet. And many construction companies have heavy balance sheets. The business model at Fira is completely different. We have an open model. We co-create value with our partners. We create value for the client. We create value for the users, for society. We don't try to do it all ourselves. The goal is to work with the best partners and find the best solution for everybody. And it's not about taking away from someone else's pocket. It's like creating value for all the participants. Here you can see how our revenue has evolved during the years. And in 2009, our revenue was 14 million. And that time, our CEO set a goal to achieve 100 million euros of revenue in 5 years, which we achieved, and even sooner than was the goal. And to achieve this, in 2009, when we shifted towards the customer, we also started our new business, service business called Verstas. It's like a workshop with the client, with the designer, with the heavy focus on finding the best solution for the client, best building for the client, create the most value for the client, and also stay in the budget of the client. 2010, we started doing BIM-based estimation, and it has a lot to do with Verstas workshops also, or with co-creation of value with the customer. With BIM-based estimation, we are able to develop the projects to match the needs of the customers and also be competitive on the market. I have a case example from 2013 called LAHDEN TORIPARKKI. It's a parking house, and it was a design and build competition. And these are the results of the competition. Fira was over 5% cheaper than the next competitor, and over 40% cheaper than some of the competitors. And this was not achieved by cutting our margin or cutting the margins of the subcontractors or anything like this. It was about developing the project and developing the design. And how we do this? This is an example of our solution development in a design and build competition type of project. When we get an invitation to tender, we analyze the initial design and find the potential for improvement there. Look it closely with our partners, with our designer partners, with our experts. Discuss with the client what kind of possibilities we have to change the design. We do this together. We do these workshops with our partners, with the client. And once we feel that we have a good solution, a better solution, we create a cost model. Our own engineers make a cost model with Tekla. It's a rough concept model, and it's just to give you an idea of the concept and also to get the information needed for the cost estimation. And the actual design work happens after we get the contract. This is as rough a model as it can be to give us all the necessary information. And with our structural library, with our cost library, we can get, when we have this model, we can get a very reliable cost estimate very fast. It takes like a day or two when we have the model ready to get the cost estimate. And then we evaluate the design or the solution we have made. And if we feel it's not good enough, then we do it all over again. And we do it enough times to find the best possible solution for each project. And this way, we get the winning tender. For example, in this case, we changed the frame. We used a two-model frame instead of 3 modules, which meant a bit more columns, but lighter foundations and frame in general. We made an innovation in the excavation or supporting of the excavation. We did all the other competitors had piling or other types of support. For the excavation, we used sloping and shotcrete. Almost 1 meter thick bed plate was changed to a 12 centimeters thick ground bearing slab. And in fact, even though we had the lowest price, we were also able to create more value for the customer. The number of parking spaces went up, even the price went down. And all of these innovations were made in collaboration with our design partners. It's always a joint effort. It's not like our own specialists have all the information. Yeah. And the recipe for this kind of success is having the right people with the right skills working together so that the innovation is possible. The right skills colliding. All the people participating should have a common goal so that the value is created together. We win together or we lose together. And it's not like each for themselves. And also, to achieve this, we need an efficient way of working and the tools to support it. We do quick iteration loops. we rely heavily on the cost information as guidance for which solution is the right one. We concentrate only on the viable solutions. If something's not going the right way, we change the design. We don't investigate too long in the wrong type of design. We can try more possible solutions in the same time than the competitors. And the tools we have is we create this cost model and do BIM-based estimation based on this cost model. And with this approach, we've been able to have as high as 80%. Our hit rate has been at best over 90% from previous around 10 in the concrete phase of the business. And this was the situation in 2013, and we are constantly improving our way of working. In 2014, we started using a big room method, but it's like our way of doing it. I guess normally big rooms are used in very big projects where all the designers and the contractors are working in the same space for months or perhaps years on the same project. But since our projects are not that big, it's maybe 15 million for each project on average. The way we work with big rooms is like 4 to 8 hours at a time. We gather all the right people in the same spot to get the right solutions. And this might get confusing because we do the verstas and then we do the big room. The difference is that the verstas phase is before we have the contract. It's a service for the client to get the best possible solution. And the big room method is used when we have the contract, and it's our efficient way of creating the design that matches the contract and what we have agreed with the client. And the goal changes a bit from the client to doing the design work as efficiently as possible. And then our latest development has been working with virtual design and construction. I would say all of this that I've shown you before is about virtual design and construction. But it's more about doing it in a more standardized way and having a better process for doing it. And also about preparation for the execution phase of the project. At Fira, we feel that virtual design and construction is all about cooperation, information, and technology. Cooperation and technology makes it possible for us to have the right information at the right time. We get the information from the right people, the specialists or experts on their field, or we get the information through technology from our libraries or from our software. And with this, we get better decisions, better management, more value creation for the customer. And in all, it gives us tools that enable knowledge-based management. And in short, what we mean with VDC, it's about that we design and plan the construction of the building in detail, virtually, before the actual construction phase. We have achieved good success and good growth with these methods that we use, but there's still problems. We do collaboration, we do big rooms and Verstas workshops. We have good software and we use good tools that help us. And we also have information inside the company, but we are still struggling with the information flow and information and process integrity. Well, we have different people in different parts of the project working, and we sometimes lose information during this process, or we have information stored in different software, and they are not integrated as well as we would like them to be. So this is, I believe we've come a long way from 2009, but there's also a lot of work to be done. And our goal at the moment is to bring this all together, have the right software, have the right processes, think it through. What type of information is needed in which parts of the project and who needs it, and what they will provide for the project, and provide the right information for the right people at the right time. And that's something we can always do better. In our VDC process, what we mean by collaboration or cooperation, we do these big room sessions that I talked about, the Verstas service or workshops. In construction phase, we use last planner method in collaboration with the subcontractors on site. And also it means all the teams, all the different teams in Fira working together for the common goal. VDC is about information, but I think information it's not about technology, it's the same information is needed if we have the technology or if we don't. But technology, of course, can make it a lot easier. And what type of technology we use? It's like we create our own cost models, we do site plans, 3D site plans. We have iPads on, I guess, every site at the moment. And yeah. Next, I have a case example of an ongoing project called Karavaanikuja. It's also a design and build project. In fact, all of our projects have some design elements. None of our projects are just construction projects. There's always design involved, and most of the cases we are responsible for the design work, and we hire the designers. These pictures show you the different development phases of this project. It's a 300 apartment housing project in Helsinki. And it changed quite a bit along the way. In the project development phase, we used Verstas workshops to get the best possible solution. The architects used, for example, SketchUp to do their sketches. Our structural engineers used Tekla to create the cost model. And then we use BIM-based estimation tools to get the cost from the models. In the design phase and construction preparation phase, we start shifting from the client focus to focusing on the efficient delivery of the design that matches the specifications we have agreed on with the client. We use multidisciplinary models. We combine them with Solibri, all the disciplines like HVAC and architectural model and structural model, and also our own site plan made with SketchUp. As you can see, the cranes, for example, have been added there, and all the other logistics information about the plan and things like that. And in this phase, we also do location-based schedules for all our projects. Last year, we've been heavily focusing on better quality scheduling, and we have decided to use the location-based schedule for all our projects. In construction phase, we use the last planner method, and also we do some, at least a couple of Verstas workshops with the clients during the construction project to make sure that also the people on site know the customer's needs and what's important for the customer in this project. We use Solibri for visualization. We use Visili tool for, actually we are piloting that one, but it's a tool for last planner. We use Tekla Field 3D with our iPads. We also have on-site BIM booths on some of our sites. And yeah, about the information. Along the project, the amount of information grows all the time, and it gets harder and harder to manage the further we move on the project. That's something we are working on at the moment. We have good control of the project during the solution development phase, but once we get to the execution, it gets harder and harder to control the amount of information we have on site. But overall, in conclusion, this is what we used to do at Fira, and this is what we do today. Thank you.
I think the last two pictures were good examples of how the 3D modeling and all the systems and software help to minimize human factor and the mistakes. Is that correct?
Yeah, I guess so. And also about thinking before doing and finalizing the design work before going on site.
Yeah. Any questions?
It seems that you're investing a lot of efforts, not only your, but also your partners, before getting the contract. It means pre-analysis to finding the better solution and so on. Probably customer not paying for you for this job. So how about this your investments? Are you count that you are getting back this money? Because it's actually you should ask also your partners to invest, to pre-analysis before good proposal.
Yeah, this Verstas business, it's like a business unit of its own in Fira, and we do contracts for the design work with the clients. And then we can, of course, pay our partners and so forth. It's not like it's not our main business, but it covers the costs. And then, of course, with this way, we can get the contracts to actually build the projects.
So we need more.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hit rate was really high, I guess, and the competitions, the tenders that you participate in.
Yeah, and it's. Let's say at best, it's been around 80.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Probably in Latvia we have like what 1 in 10 is the hit rate in tenders. It's like a general industry standard. All right. Any more questions from your side? Yeah, we have. The lunch was good, probably because you are more active now. That's.
Hello, Davis from Bauplan Nord. One question about, you mentioned, you showed us the tender. What information did you get for the tender? And was it somehow already a 3D model, or you draw it from the scratch yourself? So you only got a request from the customer to design and build, or already got some model?
I have to say, I don't exactly remember if we had a model to work with, but I know that we changed the design so much that we had to do it all over again ourselves. And I think we had an initial design from the client. I'm not sure if it was 2D or 3D, but we had an initial design from the client. And if we would have done this design the client gave us, it would have cost, I guess, 25% more, or yeah, so a lot more.
Okay, and a small second question about your market in general. In the tenders you are participating, how much you are, when you are getting designs, not design build, but really a design from customer, and then you're just building, how much of them are you getting like a 2D or 3D percentage?
In fact, we don't do that kind of projects at all.
No, I mean, you just design and build.
Yeah, we do only design and build. Sometimes the client might have a, well, it's not like perhaps it's like a line in the sand. It's not that exact, but we always do design and build projects.
We have a question here.
Yeah. Weinberg's Knopf company. My question is about sustainability. How important for you in your projects is to, do you use this sustainability quality system like LEED, BREEAM, DEGA and B? Is it issue?
I said It depends on the client. It's like we have done lead projects, and I guess we have done dream projects, but it's not our focus. It depends on what the client needs and if it's important for the client to have this certification.
Thank you for your questions. If we don't have any more questions, we say thank you to Kasperi once again, and let's give a big hand. Thank you.